Meantime, one of the first fault lines is emerging among Trump's biggest Silicon Valley backers over the announcement of that strategic crypto reserve. Deirdre Bosa has some details in today's Tech Check. Morning, Dee.
Hey, good morning, Carl. So divisions within Silicon Valley over this reserve, that could represent a major test of President Trump's newfound tech support, of course, forged during the 2024 campaign. It highlights the different factions within this very nuanced group, and it was certainly on public display over the weekend. One of the most maybe surprising face-offs that broke out between the administration's crypto czar, David Sachs, and Joe Lonsdale, an influential ally. Now, after the announcement, Lonsdale critiqued the use of taxpayer money for a U.S. crypto reserve. He wrote that pushing for more efficient defense, courts, and prisons, that's a noble task, but a crypto scheme, as he called it, was overreach. And that put Sachs on the defense, telling Lonsdale to wait to find out what's actually being proposed and announcing that he sold all of his cryptocurrency prior to the start of the new administration. Then there was Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase. He indirectly questioned the rationale behind diversifying the reserve, adding more coins, suggesting that a Bitcoin-only option would be the best option. Now, these emerging rifts, they underscore a deeper ideological battle within Silicon Valley's pro-Trump faction. If it was largely united over Doge, the mission to streamline operations and reduce waste, but the idea of a federally backed crypto reserve, that may feel like a distortion of free markets to some of them, especially the libertarian faction. It could also disproportionately benefit some VC firms over others. David Sachs' venture firm Kraft still holds investments in crypto startups like Bitwise. And then there's Andreessen Horowitz with investments in Cardano and Solana included in that reserve, at least in the announcement. During the campaign, of course, Andreessen Horowitz was one of the earliest and highest profile supporters of Trump, donating to Trump-aligned PACs. This Friday, guys, the White House will hold its crypto summit. We could see these tensions boil over further, or we could see them blow over. And I thought a really important data point from your interview a few moments ago with Michael Saylor, he is about as Bitcoin maximalist as it gets. And he said that it was just good that the country is getting enlightened about crypto. So it kind of sounded like he's getting on board, even though he'd probably rather see a Bitcoin-only reserve.
I mean, yeah, he'll defend it no matter what. Some people are saying, you know, he made the claim that you wouldn't lose money if you held it over 4 years and the U.S. is a long-term holder, although there is a point that it's been hacked. And if you've been hacked, you have lost money. That's another. I mean, there's so many questions, Deirdre. That's one. The legality of whether you can do this by executive order, where the funding comes from, and whether it has to be appropriated by Congress.
And how you would respond to a severe drawdown
for sure.
In the price, Dee. I wonder, though, if, to your point about building some kind of consensus, if they're going to just argue in the end that you don't want to let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Right. And if you're arguing for less regulation, this might be an important step. I even heard some rumblings. I mean, just kind of speculation at this point. But like, where does this end? If you have a crypto reserve that includes some of these more speculative coins, why not have sort of like a tech reserve that owns stocks, right? And that's some of the points that some are making. And that sort of just opens the floodgates for what could the government do if it's going to invest in, you know, a variety of cryptocurrencies.
Well, there's the Sovereign Wealth Fund. They want to do that, too.
Yeah,
so
great point.
Talk about other investments. And maybe this mineral deal, if Ukraine agrees to it as well. Thank you, Deirdre.